Hey everybody, it's Lou, your Gearhead Gourmet. And of course, it's starting to get a little cooler outside and the absolute perfect time for chili. And I know everybody has their own chili recipes, but we're going to show you a basic one here. You're going to be able to whip it up in no time, just let it simmer down for a while. And when it's done, boy, is it going to be hearty and it is going to be absolutely delicious. So let's get started here. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. You can vary these occasionally, but a couple of things that we found that really work well include starting with whole tomatoes. Get the whatever's on sale brand. That's what we suggest. So you get a big can of whole tomatoes and you get it and you put it in your pot. That's going to be good. Now, you might have some chopped tomatoes in your cupboard already, so we're going to put a can of chopped tomatoes in here as well. Then we're going to go get a can of chopped tomatoes and chilies. You know, Rotel is a brand. This is a store brand here, same type of thing. We're going to put that in there so you can see the spice level is going to come up. Now, when it comes to beans, that's all dependent on whether you like beans or not. We love beans around here, so we went and we grabbed some chili beans. Now, the thing that's really nice about chili beans, you know I try to cook gluten-free whenever I can, and this particular brand of chili beans, they are now making it gluten-free. So we take this out. Now, sometimes they stick. Have a little spatula ready because you want to make sure you get all the goodness out of the cans. Oh, there's a lot in here, so we're going to get all those out, and we're going to go two cans of chili beans. Now, what we're getting ready here is what some people call a double batch. Okay, a double batch of chili using 2 pounds of meat, which we have browned and drained. We have that to our side here. That is going to be the last thing that we are going to add to the mixture. So we have the chili beans. Here's something else you might not have tried before, Great Northern beans. You put a can of Great Northern beans. Now, we drained off the juice off the top, and since we're making 2 pounds of meat, we're going to use 2 cans of Great Northern beans. Now, these are going to break down. A lot of them, you're going to wonder what in the world happened to them because they become part of the chili concoction. It is really, really good. So we got to get these really get stuck in there. Get all the white beans out of here. A couple of different varieties of white beans. Get them in and just get it all mixed up. So we're going to put this down. And we're going to stir this around a little bit. Now, you can see the peppers and the onions that we have here, so we are going to add those next. Now, with the onions, what you want to do, make sure you cut them up in large chunks because they, too, will start to come apart when they are in the chili. So we have a couple of onions here, and we're going to put about an onion and a half right now and see what that looks like. And I'll turn the pot for you here in a second so you can check that out. That is going to be, that's looking really, really good there, isn't it? Okay, so we're getting close to adding the meat. Now, once we add the meat, then we're really cooking, and we can let this start to go. Now, we do like onions, so we're going to put a little more in here, just so we get the flavor. We'll leave that all in there. Now, we have some peppers. Now, green peppers, a lot of people love the taste of green peppers, but they don't actually like the green pepper consistency when it's cooked. So here's what we suggest. We suggest cutting it up in just in large chunks. That way, you can put the green pepper in, get the flavor, and if somebody doesn't like the green pepper, they can just take it out of the bowl before they eat it. So put 1 green pepper and a yellow or red pepper for some sweetness. That's going to go in there too. Same type of thing. If you don't like the yellow or the red pepper, you can pick it out, but in big chunks because it is going to cook down, you know, rather fiercely once you get the chili going. Now, we also have some hot peppers here. We took one of our hot peppers and we cut it up. This is from the garden. We harvested before everything froze up. We're going to put 1 in there. You don't want to overdo it when you come to heat initially. Okay, so we'll put 1 hot pepper in there, and we're going to stir all this around. Now, you got a lot of liquid in here, but now you need to get some seasoning. Now, there's a real simple rule when it comes to making chili, when it comes to seasoning. You need chili powder, of course, and it's 2 to 1. 2 scoops of chili powder to 1 pound of meat. Now, we have 2 pounds of meat, so we're going to take 2 level, and that's important too, level scoops of chili powder to each pound of meat. So here we go. That's 3, and that's 4. Now remember, you can always put more in, but you can't take it out once you do that. So if you have somebody that might not like heat a little bit, you might want to back that down just a little bit. And then cumin. Same deal here, 2 to 1. Okay, so if you have a pound of meat, you're going to use 2 scoops of chili. That was a tablespoon there. This is a teaspoon here. So there's 1. It's a little hard to come out of this container. Here, there's 2. Now this is what gives the chili its body. Okay, the cumin does. And 1 more, since we have 2 pounds. And that is in there, and we're good with the basic ingredients. Now, if you want to have a little fun, you might want to either use some garlic salt or real garlic. We love real garlic. Now, we're done using this for anything else, so we're going to put a scoop of garlic in there. Okay, we love garlic, so we'll leave that there. We'll close this lid up. And then it comes to a couple of occasional seasonings. Maybe you like somebody might want a little oregano or some Italian seasoning. This, I believe, is Italian seasoning we have here. We're just going to put a little bit of that in there just to make it a little different. And something that really gives it an interesting twist is celery seed. Okay, if you haven't tried that, you might want to give that but just a little bit because celery seed is pretty darn potent. So leave that just a little bit at a time. Now, we're going to continue stirring this and get this all mixed up. And you see, I'm going to show you what it looks like before we add the meat. And just get it thoroughly mixed. And we'll just see how this is all going to cook down. It's going to look totally different when we're done. But here's what it looks like right now. Look at that. How delicious does that look? Now it is time to add the meat. So we're going to back this away. Take our 2 pounds of browned and drained meat. Going to put that in. Love the wooden spoons, by the way, for making chili. It's almost mandatory to have a wooden spoon when you're making chili. Now, you'll notice something, that when you put the meat in there, it's going to start to absorb a lot of the liquids. So at first you might say there's way too much juice in there. No, you'll be fine. And once the vegetables and the tomatoes, the whole tomatoes start cooking down, they'll release some more moisture and some more liquid as well. So that will give you a lot of the juice that you need. So here is what it looks like right now. Look at this. This is pre-cooking it down and making it awesome. So there it is. There is our chili, our basic chili. Oh, by the way, in case you had a habanero somewhere, we'll sneak this in a little later, but shh, don't tell anybody. All right, let's cook it down. We'll see what happens. Everybody, we let the chili cook down. We're going to take the lid off this and show you what we have here. You're wondering how long it took to cook the chili. Well, we got the chili started, then we went to go watch the truck race, which Grimes, Brett, and Moffitt end up winning in the 23 truck at Kansas Speedway. Great job out of you, Brett. But we mentioned that you'd have some liquid in the chili, and that's exactly what we have right now. As it did come out, you can see we have a whole bunch of liquid right here, and we need to thicken this up a little bit before we can serve it. So what we're going to do is we're going to stir this around just a little bit, and what we have done is taken a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch. We put them in a little container here and put some water in, and we're going to get it closed really well and mix it all up. A really simple way to thicken up your chili like this. You take this and put it right in here, and this is going to perform some magic and thicken up the chili rather nicely. So we're going to switch utensils here a little bit. Going to stir it around. And since it is warm, the chili is warm, it immediately starts thickening up. And as it sits here for a little while, it'll get just a little more thick. And now it has the consistency of chili that you're used to. We'll change utensils again, and we'll hold it up so you can see it. And you can see now, this is the chili that everybody is looking for. Look at the big chunks of onions that are in there too. So we're going to just let this simmer down just a little while longer. And maybe you have some little tiny jalapenos you had in your garden that you didn't know what you're going to do with them. Throw them in there. They're not going to hurt anything. And remember I told you about that habanero for a surprise? Shh. Don't say anything. You're going to lit it and leave it. Be back in just a couple of minutes and see how things turned out. All right, let's see what we have here. Time to take off the lid and see what kind of goodness we have when it comes to chili. Take a look at this. Does that look delectable? Let's give a scoop here and show you what we have. It is absolutely smells wonderful. We'll give 2 big scoops over here. Oh, there's a surprise. Look at here. Here's a surprise right here. one of the peppers that we put in there. That is awesome. Here's another one here. But it's really simple. Again, the basic recipe for the seasonings with a pound of meat, it's 2 tablespoons of chili powder and then 2 teaspoons of cumin. Use that as your base. Throw a little garlic in there and then add to your heart's content. Oh, we have the biggest prize of all over here as we are ready to go. It is chili time with the Gearhead Gourmet. Let's go into overdrive.